New York Invasion. He was up on Bugsby, and then he had a really close game too. And then after that game too, he dropped it. So it's like, what are you doing? Also, Joey Maego, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate you with the prime. Shout out to all y'all in the chat. Also, I'm going to get the prediction up. I forgot to put it up. I'm sorry. Right, here we go. You go ahead and talk about the match while I get this going.
Yeah, so basically this kind of match is going to be a very heavy projectile base on the side of Rick. And then we've got Twilight, who's going to be trying to get in as much as possible. Harley has a lot of tools in order to kind of get things started, such as this defecated low loop that we've got going on here, where it's like nair into jab follow-ups.
Yeah, I really like the way Daykwon's combo game has been picking up too, but you always have that consistency of Sair to the end of time from Harley. And I like the fact also Twilight is becoming more and more patient on the anti-air game, because that's what Twilight was doing to beat people last time. It wasn't just beating the matchup against Stripe. Twilight was constantly looking for those jumps, looking for the mistakes, and that's how Twilight actually beat Daykwion last time in that big run they had like 7 games straight.
Yeah, it was definitely a really solid run that they had. The platform coming in with the assist didn't have anything left, so touching that platform actually was like imperative to making sure that they got back. 93% tries to go for the double up special, has another chance, but doesn't get anything there.
I like the coverage there with the Nair too, because you already tried to go for up special multiple times in a row, so you figure a panic dodge down's coming in. But Daykwion is starting to build this damage back up. Could find a dare, go for up special. Good drop by Twilight to get away from that.
Yeah, very solid gameplay so far. 116 to 104 is very close in the percent too. Gonna get the second hit of down, like the attack. I feel like that rocket really never has anything to like do.
Sometimes he does get it though. Like I've seen some good mix-ups utilizing the rocket off of the portals, and also you catch jumps in. One move I never see is the fart bomb. That was pretty funny to actually see that move come out. But teleporting directly in front of Harley's up special, yeah, bad things happen, but immediately answered back with the Sair.
Yeah, Sair taking it out. Very strong move, especially unstaled as it was. Going to go into the polymorph there. Gets a little bit more on the knockback and a little less on like the knockback of the opponent.
Yeah,
them.
Yeah, a little bit. You get some, essentially some extra weight in its own way, and then yeah, being able to get some more knockout powers is so beneficial against a character like Harley, who's the 3rd lightest in the game right now. And Daykwion playing better keep away all of a sudden. I feel like he's going to get hit by straight hits, but you have to play like such a careful neutral against Harley, because once you overextend once, you're getting comboed to oblivion. So I like his approach so far.
Yeah, very solid game plan that he's got going on so far. They want to make sure that like when you're playing Harley that you're choosing your battles as much as possible. As you can see, 65% already racked up onto Daykwion. And a very healthy stock at that too. 24 is all that Twilight has on them.
Yeah, 82 on Daykwion. But I mean, this defense from Twilight is definitely working pretty well. They're playing very passive, not trying to make a mistake. That move, by the way, is such a strong anti-air. You just saw how far that sent at 50. But finally catches him slipping on that. That was like the very edge of the bat too.
Yeah, Harley has literally one of the best above options in the game, aside from like what is probably Bugs and Arya.
Yeah, good luck trying to land against Harley. It's such a nightmare.
Exactly. Or when they're trying to recover too. It's
True.
just like that option that is like end-all be-all. It's going to beat out whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's very hard to challenge in most situations. But Rick being one of the few characters who could set up scenarios like that because of the Meeseeks, because of the fart bomb at ledge and stuff. It will force Harley's hand to go in a little bit too early.
As far as like as far as like for like what Daykwion is trying to do, I feel like a lot of those combos and like trying to get that stock is coming difficult to them.
Yeah, I mean, so Twilight's playing Twilight's playing that keep away game right now. It's like, you must approach me because I know that you're a zoner and you need to try to find an opening, because all I have to do is catch you with like one side air, and now I put you in knockout windows. Good time dodge, but Daykwion looked like he was actually prepping for it and couldn't find it. And now the full carry all the way to the top off the platform to start it, and just kept it going. And that's kind of like the biggest fear that I think a lot of people have been running to at Twilight of late, is that they've gotten really good at juggling in those scenarios and usually don't drop them anymore.
Yeah, being above like Harley again is like one of those scariest situations in the game because of how large the hitboxes are. You have to like predict exactly where they're trying to go before you make a move, because if you call wrong, you're gonna get hit, and once you're out of resources, they're just gonna knock you out.
Yeah, I think it's like incredibly difficult to just not freak out in those positions too. And Dakwon's going to do the interesting fact of going to Tree Fort. Now, this does help keep Harley from running from you more. It does keep you next to her, but, you know, the biggest thing is that your projectiles are always active, like, no matter what on the stage. There's nowhere for her to really disengage. The biggest trade-off, of course, is that you're going to probably get knocked out really early here on the stage.
Yeah, exactly. Going in with the coveted loops, already racking up 52% onto the Rick. It's just what is going to happen. I mean, as far as, like, loops in this game currently, they're like optimal. Like, there's no reason not to use them in competitive play right now.
Yeah, I mean, if it's there, use it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Eventually, of course, things could change on the line. But getting a side special off of the skis as a starter, that's not something I see too often, but I've been seeing them find ways to use that more, and it actually kind of got him back into even.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like that first hit connect and that second hit just constantly whiffing. Like, he's not able to get that second hit of the jab combo off.
Right now, I mean, luckily it's for both of them in this regard, it's a very even game. Meeseek's covering so much of the stage when it's giant, and these Sares are finding their mark more often. So even though it's been like a lot of disengaging between the two to hunt for that one neutral win, it's been working well for Daykwion, who I was surprised wasn't ready for that up air, because he's consistently finding these up specials right now.
It's been a little while since Twilight has been able to actually get a like hit within neutral. I feel like Dakwon's defenses have really gone up.
I mean, it did. You're right on the money on that. I think it's been a solid. Finally getting a hit with the nair. It took a long time to do it, but Daykwion mixing up the recovery. Gonna get hit by reverse hit and nair. I'll take that any day, because that means I'm not dead at least.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that isn't up special at this percent is going to be all game. Goes in with the skis, only form of recovery after no portal. Tries to get a combo there, but accidentally misses the up tilt there. Wasn't in the right position for it.
And there was that rocket to break up the Twilight's pressure game. Gonna miss out on the bat bomb. That actually found its mark, and that was after he used the skis and the up special, so he was completely out of resources, and we get an even game. I think it's the first time I've ever seen a Harley side special in the air knock out that far. I don't think I've ever actually seen that happen before.
Yeah, it was actually kind of crazy how much percent was racked up on Daykwion and how fast he went. Sorry.
Oh, good.
But as far as, like, this stage is definitely working out for Daykwion. Doesn't have to chase Twilight around, and is able to use, like, the smaller, like, you know, area to actually trade off with Twilight a lot more.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting so far, and Twilight is getting juggled a bit more. Finally gets a hit on one of those up specials, and this is the dangerous part. Like, Twilight may be having a hard time finding an opening, but when they do find an open, it's like 40 to 50 guaranteed each time. So, like, the reward on hit has been really good, and that's why Dakwon's defense needs to be as good as it is right now.
But Twilight's starting to see that Daykwion is going a bit high, so starting to stay low and then punish with the up special to rack up some more percent. Goes for the downer, doesn't meet the mark or the sider, dodging through literally everything, goes for the up tilt combo and has, you know, basically Twilight right around the same percent as them now. Yeah,
very similar to the last game. Of course, you got one more shot on that, so you could go for that, but now you're on cooldown, so this is Twilight's time to kind of approach, but he's mixing it up well between the Meeseeks as a way to slow it down. He does get the dodge in perfect timing. And he's playing around that cooldown pretty well. So, you know, for Twilight's moment to burst, they actually couldn't even find an opening.
Yeah, exactly. But, again, Daykwion constantly getting punished for those up specials now by Twilight. And it's very soon now that if they keep making that same mistake, they could be losing their stock soon.
Yeah, this is one of the more rare occasion slow-paced matches we have going on around here. We are very aggressive. But that option coverage was so good, man. Meeseek's down, charge shot through, forced to go high, guaranteed that if you trade off there, you get the Sair. But Twilight, once again, still just not allowing him to keep a big lead and immediately striking back.
Yeah, it's tough when you're seeing a lot of this go on, but it's a lot of layers going into it too, because those things are tricky to get past, and unless you see them early, you're going to be walking right into what the projectile character wants, such as Rick right now.
I will say, oh, there's a big opportunity. Goes for the teleport. Gonna be forced to get it. Does get underneath it, though. That was actually incredibly scary. That wasn't, like, the best recovery overall, but it did work. But this is why this matchup can be so frightening to try and challenge, because Harley gets one single Sair, and you're at knockout windows. So you have to play so careful, and they've been really passive about it so far.
Yeah, and you could kind of see a little bit of nerves coming out now as they are on final stock. It's not a comfortable lead at all for either of them. Twilight trying their best to just stay comfortable, has to use the skis, still doesn't have teleport gun. Looks like it's about to come up.
I thought he was done there because he already jumped in before that to use the skis, and that reverse it in there is going to take it. Twilight's going to go ahead and get another W onto Daykwion. Daykwion looking significantly better there in that second game, but it wasn't. Oh, wrong one. It wasn't enough to seal the deal because the thing is that once you get hit by Harley that one time, things start to derail fast, and that's kind of what happened as that match continued to progress, is that it got closer and closer, and then he made one mistake. It got pushed from like 0 to 60, and then kept getting pushed off stage. It started to get a little panicky in that. You said it before, eventually one of those is going to find the mark. And that time it ended up being off the side.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very comfortable like lead, I felt like, when either of them had it, but once it got to the point where they were like, you know, at the same percent, at the same stock, it got very wild on Daekwon's end, and I feel like Twilight took advantage of that.